Hi everyone, I'm Jen. Today I'm going to show you how to create a gender reveal banner using two different techniques. But don't worry, the techniques I'm going to show you can apply to any occasion banner, whether it's birthday, bridal party, engagement. I got you covered. The materials I use in this video are the Cricut Maker, a light grip mat, 65-pound cardstock, silver ribbon, scissors, Recollections tape roller, and a Xyron Creative Station. Okay, so as you can see, I signed into Design Space and I clicked on New Project. The next thing we're going to do is click on Images. And I'm going to search for a cartridge rather than specifically an image. So we click on Cartridge and we do a search for a specific cartridge that I know of, which is called Birthday Bash. And you can just click on Enter. Fun fact, if you didn't know, you used to be able to buy cartridges from Cricut that contain specific images, and you would actually load them onto your machine, and that's how you would get them into Design Space. They still have cartridges that you can search for, as you see here, and they'll have specific images. See, like this Birthday Bash will have 163 images. You can click on it and you'll see all the images that are part of that specific cartridge. And as you can see, they have 2-layer banners here that already have the holes cut out for you. So I'm just going to click on this one and click on Insert Image, and that's going to bring it into my canvas. Normally I like to make mine about 5 inches. So I'm just going to click over here on height and going to click 5. And we're going to have a height of 5 inches and a width of 3.76. And you can adjust it if you'd like to be a little bigger, a little smaller. The next thing I'm going to do is show you what I'm going to do here for the gender reveal banner. I'm actually going to keep this top layer white. So I'm going to click on the pink over here in my layers. Then I'm going to click over here with colors, click on white. I'm going to click the second layer, go back, and I'm actually going to make this pink. Text, we're going to keep it simple. And I'm going to type she. Since I mentioned to you, we're going to make this a gender reveal banner. You're going to click and grab your arrow. And this is a little trick that I like to do to size it onto the banner and make sure it's going to fit. I keep all my letters together and I expand it for the size that I want. So kind of put it in the middle there, the S, and I see that fits. And then I kind of drag this over just as a check. I'm thinking maybe my H is a little too big for the banner. So I'm just going to size it down a little bit so it fits a little better in the middle. There I have a little more space. I think it'll look better. So we have she. If you notice, the colors between she and the back here are a little different. If you like to just have everything the same, and also, it may help you conserving when you cut, you just go to your color sync and I drag down to match. I drag down the banner to match. So now we have the same shade of pink. So we have 3 letters. So we want to make sure that we have 3 banners because we're going to put 1 letter per banner piece. So we're going to duplicate and duplicate. So here we have 3 banners per letter. Now I said this was a gender reveal. So the next thing that we want to do, make sure everything stays the same size. I'm going to click my little zoom out here down at the bottom. I'm going to take this, I'm going to duplicate it so I know it's the correct size. And we're going to say this is or. So because we're going to do he or she. So I'm going to click on or. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to resize it. Let's do it against here. Make sure that we pretty much have everything the same size. I'm going to put that on the line here. I'm going to overlay this one. You see, I'm just keeping it on the line to make sure it's about the same height. So we're going to take our or, I'm going to bring it over, click on advanced and ungroup to letters. So that's going to let us be able to put our O over here and our R over here. Now, because it's a gender reveal, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this R to blue, and I'm going to change this background to the same color blue. So this way we'll have a little he or she. Now what I can do to keep this simple and make sure it's the same size is I could click on she. I can duplicate it in this case. Double click. That's going to open up text box. Going to delete the S, and now I have a he. I'm going to go back to my color sync. Going to take my H E, and that's going to turn it blue, the same color that I have here. Now this is going to be the same concept where I'm going to take this banner piece and I need 2 more. So duplicate, duplicate. Now remember, I have it in this specific color order. You can change it if you wanted to change how this or is going to go, however you would like to do it. If you notice, this is going behind the banner. So all I need to do is click on Arrange, Center Front. That's going to bring it to the front. And again, I can go to Advanced, Ungroup to Letters, and that's going to let me slide over the E. Now I have my banner. She, could click on Arrange here, Center Front. So now I have S-H-E or he. Now this is going to be the first technique, and I could send that to cut. Okay, so that was the first technique in which we are cutting each individual piece of the banner and we are cutting each individual letter, and then we are going to attach or glue our letters straight onto the banner. Now, the second technique I wanted to show you is going to be a little different. Now, I want to keep this intact because I would like to cut both banners and show you how to do them. So what I'm going to do is select all and click on group. This way I have one big group. I'm going to zoom out a little bit and show you guys what I'm going to do here. I'm going to duplicate the whole group. And then I'm going to click on this and hide it. So there's this group. Click on the eye, literally the eye, and that's to hide it. I'm going to take this group, I'm going to drag it up. We're going to zoom in a little bit to 50%. And now I'm going to show you the second technique of what I wanted to do with slicing. So let me ungroup. Now remember, in order to slice, it can only be two layers at a time. As you can see, if I click on the banner, it's considered a group. So the first thing you need to do is ungroup. Now, I would like to show you how to slice here. So this, I'm going to click Advance and Ungroup to Letters. We're going to keep everything the same size. So I'm going to bring this pretty much to where I want it in the middle of the banner. Like I said, you can decide how you'd like it, where you'd like to put it. Going to click on your S, and then you're going to click on Shift, hold down Shift, and then you're going to click on the white. So now, as you can see here, both the white and the S are together. Now, what I did forget is that the font is 2 layers, which is also considered a group. So what you want to do is delete your second layer of the font. So let's get that out of the way. Okay, because like I said, in order to slice, you can only do 2 layers at a time. So let's go back. We are going to click on the S. We are going to hold down Shift, click on the white. So now, as you can see, if you look at your layers panel, the S and the white are selected. You are now going to click on Slice. Click on here. That's your first layer. You can drag that out and delete it. Here's the second cut. You can drag that out and delete it. And now what you have done is sliced the S out of the white. As you can see, when I drag it here, doing this eliminates the need for you to cut out individual letters and paste them on. You're actually going to be able to see the letter through this first layer, and it's going to show as a pink letter. And we could do that with all the rest of the layers. So remember, first thing you're going to do is ungroup, grab your letter. Nope, this one went behind. Just simply click on Arrange and Center Front. Everything is, you can see all 3 of these banners are on the same line to try to keep everything, in sync and together. So I'm going to bring this H over, look at it, eyeball it. You can also set this all up on the line to make sure everything's the same height. I'm going to click on the H. I held down Shift, clicked on the white, and then again, click on Slice. So now you can drag that and delete, drag this and delete. We're going to do the same with our E. And we're going to do that for each letter. Take our E, click on it, hold down Shift, click the white, and slice. So now I'm going to continue doing the same process of slicing all these letters out, and we'll speed it up so you don't have to watch me do every single one. Okay, so now I completed slicing out all the letters from the top white layer. As you can see, everything is sliced. So now with this, we are ready to click on Make It and start the cutting process. So you see it looks a little differently because all the letters are going to be cut out of that top white layer. If you don't have, like in this case, my blue is actually 8.5 by 11. So if you don't have 12 by 12 paper like this, where it's already set up on 12 by 12, then what you would do is you would click on that layer, you would come here to material size, and you would change it to 8.5 by 11. And it will, your mat will automatically resize it to fit that size paper. I'm going to scroll down. The pink also is 8.5 by 11, the one I have. So click on that, click on your 8.5 by 11, and it resized it. Now we're ready to cut. Now I'm going to load my mat. As you can see, the arrow is blinking for you to load it. And then once the C or cut button blinks, we'll just click on that and it's going to cut. Now that it's done cutting, you'll see the arrow again is blinking where that's to unload your paper. So we're going to click on that. We're done cutting. As you can see, I'm going to carefully take this out. As you can see, it cut all the way through and you have your S letter sliced out. I'll just show you so it's a little easier to see on the blue. And that's what we're going to end up with for our banner. You see, you're going to have the white with the S cut out with the blue showing through. So now I'm going to go ahead and cut the rest of the banner in the pink and the blue color. Now that everything's been cut, I just took the white pieces that actually cut out the letters. Remember, that sliced the letters. And I just simply placed them on top of the blue and pink cardstock. The only thing I have to do is put the center of the O and the center of the R and then thread our ribbon, which here I have silver ribbon. So this is my tape ruler from Recollections. So all I'm going to do is put a couple of rows here of the tape. You can see it just leaves some adhesive. You want to make sure to line it up with the holes here, so you know exactly where your center is going to be. And just place it right in the middle there. This way you'll have your O. And same with my R. You could also do this after you put the ribbon on and you know it's a little more in place. So we'll have our R. I'm going to take the little center piece here. And same thing. I'm going to just put a couple of rows of adhesive. It goes under, it's all lined up. And the same thing, I'm just going to place that here where it's supposed to go. Okay, so this is how I want my banner. This is how I want my banner to look. So the last thing you want to do is thread the ribbon through your squares to make the banner. And what I did was I snipped since this is square, it makes it a little harder to thread it through. So as you can see, I cut it at an angle. So this way it's a little easier to grab that point and thread it through. So the first thing I want to mention is that there's two ways. You can either start the ribbon from behind the cardstock. This way when you thread it through, it's going to stay in front and you'll be able to see that glitter ribbon. Sometimes, for whatever reason, for design purposes, you don't want to see the ribbon. And in that case, you would take the ribbon and thread it from the front and thread it through the back and then up through this hole. But for my purposes, I want the silver ribbon to show throughout the banner. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it from behind. I'm going to bring it through. And then into the next one. And just pull. And what I like doing, what I like to do is give myself a little bit of space so I don't have to keep pulling that, H with each letter. So I just give myself a little bit of room there. And then that's what you're going to do. You're going to continue to just take the ribbon from behind, pull it, and pull through the next hole. I finished threading the ribbon all the way through each piece, and this is the finished banner, and I cut this at an angle just like the other end that I was threading so it matches. And then you can decide how much, slack you want to give at the ends to hang it. And then this is it. You have your finished gender reveal banner. Now let's move on to the next type. Okay, now what you see on the table is the second banner. I saved some time and went ahead and cut all the pieces just like I did for the first banner, like I showed you. Now you notice the difference is that we have the actual letters cut out because we didn't slice them out of this white layer. Instead, we cut them as individual pieces. So that's why this one I find is probably more traditional and how most people I find make the banners. And that's why I wanted to show you both ways. So what we are going to do is obviously adhere each letter to our second layer, the white layer here. There's two ways of doing this. You can either have your tape roller and apply tape to each individual letter. And I find it to be a bit time consuming, and you have to be careful how much you roll out and get everything. And it can become very small to try to get the adhesive in there. And then you would go ahead and glue it, tape it, I should say, where you want. It's a little crooked. Okay. And you would tape it down. And sometimes you may have pieces that come up like this. What I have found and what I invested in is a Xyron, which is what I wanted to show you here. It is called the Xyron Creative Station. Now, what this does is it turns your paper pieces into stickers, essentially. So what you would do is pull this flap out, and you're going to feed the letters into here and then crank it with the lever, and it's going to apply adhesive to the entire back of your letters. So I'm just going to go ahead and show you that very quickly. So, and I'm going to give it to you, I'm going to show you this view so that you can see exactly what I'm doing here and what exactly is going on. Now, the Xyron also does lamination. So you just have to make sure that the roller you get, the adhesive you get, is actually this one, which is permanent adhesive. You can buy a separate roller that's for laminating if you needed lamination as well. So as you can see, taking it in here, sliding it all the way to the beginning, putting whatever layers, however many letters fit. You want to make sure it's touching all the way back there, the actual adhesive. I'm going to keep it flat. You're going to turn the lever. As you can see, my S didn't come out, which means it wasn't pushed all the way as it was supposed to be, but I'm going to continue here. And you slide the blade. I'm going to just get my S in here, join the party. And then, as you can see, you're going to peel off this film. I'm going to gently peel your letter from the backing, and the entire back is now has an adhesive like a sticker. So you don't have to worry about getting each and every nook and cranny and getting each piece and sitting there and fighting with the tape roller. Voila. So then essentially, same process. Once you stick all your letters on, just going to put them on the back layer here. Continue with your letters, and then we'll just do our ribbon, just like we did in the previous one. So here we have both of our banners, and I think just from looking at them very quickly, they look pretty much the same, if not exactly the same. Now the difference is this top one is where we actually cut the pink layer, we cut the blue layer, we cut the white layer, and then we also cut out individual letters. So me personally, I think it takes, more time, and I think this one is definitely less labor intensive, where we're slicing the letter out of this top layer. And so really all I had to do was put the white layer on top, string it, and then I only had to tape down these two middle pieces. So I'm sure there are times where it definitely calls for you cutting out individual letters if you're using multiple colors, let's say, or just design preference if you're doing something special, if you have glitter letters, for example, and you need to cut out those letters individually. But if you're doing something pretty basic, I definitely think this is a great option for you. It's less time consuming and less paper. Okay, everyone, I hope you enjoyed that video and that you find you can use one or both of those techniques on the next banner you create. If you have any questions or comments, definitely drop them in the comment section below. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications so you know the next time I upload a video. Thanks again for watching. Bye-bye.